Aloha. Welcome, everyone. It's my privilege and honor to welcome you all here today. My name is Tim Sakahara, the Public Information Officer for the Hawaii Department of Transportation. It's certainly an honor to talk about the Federal Inspection Service Facility at the Kona International Airport at Keahole. That is a mouthful, so we shorten it to the Kona FIS. This event, by the way, is being streamed live on the governor's website. So if you haven't already, we do ask you to silence your cell phones and mobile devices just in case. And for those media in the room, we will have a Q&A afterwards as well, after the photo shoot, photo opportunities as well. So we do ask you to hold your questions until that point. The reestablishment of the Kona FIS will have positive benefits for the state as a whole. It'll increase revenue and jobs, it'll relieve congestion at the Honolulu International Airport, and provide another option for international flights to land safely in the event of an emergency in Honolulu. It'll be the first time Kona International Airport will accept regularly scheduled international flights since October 2010. Now, this accomplishment is in large part because of the leadership and coordination from Governor David Ige and also the Customs and Border Protection led by Mr. Brian Humphrey, both of whom you'll hear from later today. We also will welcome to the podium Hawaiian Airlines Executive Vice President and Chief Commercial Officer, Mr. Peter Ingram, to talk about the new route. And in addition, we would like to recognize some of our distinguished guests that have played a role in this process. And on behalf of the Department of Transportation, we certainly want to welcome from the United States Customs and Border Protection, Mr. Bruce Murley and Mr. George Minamishan. And we know that this couldn't have been done without the partnership, coordination, and certainly help from our federal delegation from Washington, D.C. From U.S. Senator Mazie Hirono's office is represented by Alan Yamamoto. U.S. Senator Brian Schatz is represented by Dale Hahn. And I believe Tulsi Gabbard and Colleen Hanabusa also send their regrets for not being here, but also played a part, and we know they're certainly busy back in Washington as well. In addition to the federal delegation, we also want to acknowledge all our state senators and House of Representative members who also played an intricate part in the entire process to make this day a reality. And we'd also like to introduce from the Hawaii Department of Transportation, Deputy Director Jay Boutte, from the Airports Division, Deputy Director Ross Higashi, and our Airport District Manager of the Kona International Airport at Keahole, Mr. Chauncey Wong Yuen. In addition, we'd like to acknowledge our distinguished guests, the Consul General of Japan, Mr. Yasushi Misawa, and the Deputy Consul General for the Republic of Korea, Mr. Sung-Soo Kim. Thank you both for being here. We appreciate that. In addition to the government partners as well, there's a lot of folks from the government side and the private sector who played a part. The Hawaii Tourism Authority, of course, is a big part. I know George Zaghetti is a big part, but here represented today. The Japan-Hawaii Travel Association, Ms. Nanako Hart. The Airlines Committee of Hawaii Co-Chair, Blaine Miyasato, and from the Hawaii Airlines Liaison Office, Rod Aoki. And then we'd also like to acknowledge also representatives from Japan Airlines as well, who were the last folks to make this leg of the flight. My apologies, of course, if I missed anyone. It wasn't intentional. It was just my oversight. As you can tell by all the introductions, this was a great team effort and shows what we can accomplish when a lot of smart people and smart minds all come together for a common goal. Of course, the main agency involved in allowing this day to become a reality is the United States Customs and Border Protection. The Federal Inspection Service Facility must meet airport technical design and construction standards in order to comply with operational requirements and security regulations. This was a lengthy process and would not have been possible without the close coordination of our federal partners, namely Mr. Brian Humphrey. If you don't mind coming to say a few words.
Good morning. On behalf of the men and women of Customs and Border Protection that protect this part of the U.S. border every day, I want to personally thank Governor Ige for his engagement and invitation to today's event. You know, our primary mission is to keep bad things and bad people out of this country, while also ensuring that lawful trade and travel is fostered. One of the ways we perform that dual mission is working with our partners and stakeholders to ensure that we have adequate equipment and facilities to do those important jobs. And I'm here to tell you that we have such a partner in Governor Ige. But for the governor, we wouldn't be here today. His personal dedication, commitment of resources, his personal engagement, I can tell you, is something I haven't seen from many other governors in more than 30 years of military and law enforcement experience. And it's a pleasure working with him as a consummate professional, willing to compromise, willing to meet us halfway, and all along the way, keeping the interests of the people of Hawaii in mind. So with that, we thank him for his engagement. We thank him for his commitment of resources, both improvements to the existing facility, as well as a commitment to a permanent facility in Kona, not to mention resources that we're seeing here in Honolulu Airport, starting with automated passport kiosks that he provided that have helped us considerably in our mission. So that said, as professional of a partner as he is, I can also tell the people of Hawaii, when it comes to negotiating, he's no pushover. He's not afraid to pick up the phone and call us if we come up short, and that's okay too. So thank you for the invitation. We look forward to being in Kona and opening the door and turning on the lights December 20th. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Humphrey, for the high praise. Of course, it took a lot of dedication and commitment to make today a reality, and establishing a federal inspection facility was a priority of Governor David Ige. He reiterated this goal in his State of the State address. And now to talk about the many benefits of the project, I would like to welcome to the podium the Honorable David Ige.
Aloha, and thank you so much for joining us today to at this announcement to mark this significant accomplishment. I wanted to personally thank Brian Humphrey for his support. There are many conversations to get to this point today. I did want to acknowledge the congressional delegation. Senators Schatz and Hirono have been very, very active in helping us. We do understand that the visitor industry and hospitality industry is the lifeblood of our economy. And in order to make that work, it really is about seat capacity into and out of Hawaii. And that really has been a top priority of this administration. I've had many meetings with Customs and Border Patrol. Every single trip to Washington, D.C. Has included a trip to visit with Customs and Border Patrol. And we were so fortunate to be able to host Deputy Commissioner McAleenan last March as part of his trying to understand our story here. I think, and I truly do appreciate Brian and Deputy Commissioner McAleenan for their efforts to really understand why it's so important to Hawaii, and more importantly, to look at our facilities and our challenges and help us find a solution that works for everyone involved. This establishing the second Federal Inspection Service facility in Hawaii really does increase capacity for international travel into Hawaii. Since the economic downturn in 2009, we have seen the return of international visitors to Hawaii. It has actually increased by more than 1 million passengers, or 60%, since 2009. The trend in international passengers to Hawaii is expected to continue to grow, enhancing the need for a second airport where our state can accept international flights and welcome travelers from around the world. The secondary station is also important, as Tim had mentioned, for emergency purposes. If, in fact, Honolulu was hit by a natural disaster or other occurrence and was not able to accept flights, we would have no alternative for international travelers to travel to Hawaii. We estimate that each flight, international flight that arrives here in Honolulu, generates $7 million to the general fund. It has significant financial impact. And we do know that international travelers, as a class, spend more money in our economy, creating more jobs. Right now, the only option before December 20th is for international flights to land at Honolulu. And I certainly look forward to the first flights that will be arriving. We know that this project also improves the health and safety and resiliency for our state. Look forward to welcoming the first international flight from Japan to Kona in just 3 weeks. I wanted to personally thank Hawaiian Airlines for their commitment. I know that they, for a number of years now, have been committed to reestablishing airline travel to Kona, and we've been working very carefully with them, and we appreciate their commitment and resiliency to getting that job done as well. And I would also like to personally thank the great team at Department of Transportation, airports, Rosh, Chauncey. We have many visits out to the Kona airport to talk about the challenges and opportunities at Kona. I think that it is so important. As I had said, this has significant economic impact to our community. I know that the Hawaii Tourism Authority had announced that we are on our record for a 5th straight record year for our hospitality industry in Hawaii. And I really do think that establishing the FIS in Kona will help us keep that momentum and drive to a 6th record year next year. Mahalo, and thank you very much for being here.
All right, thank you very much, Governor. Well, Hawaiian Airlines is the flagship carrier for the state of Hawaii, and we're pleased to certainly be working with Hawaiian Airlines on this new route and flight connecting Tokyo and Kona. And with that, we welcome Hawaiian Airlines Executive Vice President and Chief Commercial Officer, Mr. Peter Ingram.
Aloha, everyone. It's first of all, it is no small accomplishment to have got to this day. There were a lot of hurdles in terms of getting the Kona FIS completed, and on behalf of everyone at Hawaiian Airlines, I want to offer our sincere thanks to Governor Ige for his efforts to get here, to Brian Humphrey and his team at the Customs and Border Protection, who have done a fantastic job of partnering to get this accomplished. It was also not a small task for us to win the route rights to serve Kona from Haneda Airport in Tokyo, and we applied multiple times for that, and we're finally successful this year. And that is due in no small part to the contributions and support from our congressional delegation in Washington, and also to people throughout the state of Hawaii and the tourism industry in Hawaii who have been supportive of those efforts. So mahalo to everyone who is a part of bringing us to this day. It is no secret that Japanese travelers have a long-standing and tremendous affinity for Hawaii, and it remains by far the largest source of international visitors to our state, and a giant contributor to our overall economy. And we at Hawaiian Airlines are very proud for our part in being able to serve that demand and bring those benefits to the state, and now to grow the benefits that go to West Hawaii and Kona, as we're able to bring people directly into Kona Airport. We have a long history at Hawaiian Airlines, but in terms of our service to Japan directly, it's a relatively short history. We began with a single flight in the fourth quarter of 2010 from Haneda to Honolulu, and now we have grown with new service to Narita this year, and with the launch at the end of this year of our service to Kona and additional service to Honolulu from Haneda, we will grow to a point where we have almost a quarter of all the seats that travel between Japan and Hawaii every single day. And that is a great testament to the 6,000 employees at Hawaiian Airlines who do a fantastic job serving our guests all year long. Haneda to Kona, or Tokyo to Kona more specifically, will open up what is the largest unserved international destination, unserved international route between Hawaii and any point internationally. And one of the benefits that we will get from this is job creation. That job creation, in fact, starts with our own station at Hawaiian Airlines station at Kona Airport, where we've already hired 34 employees to our workforce to support specifically this flight. But the job creation extends beyond that to the broader tourism community in Hawaii, and we estimate that the overall economic benefits in terms of visitor spending to the state of Hawaii are over $50 million. There's a number of reasons we decided to launch this route, but it really boils down to we're responding to the demand for travelers from Japan to come to Kona and come to the island of Hawaii, and we are pleased to be able to return this service nonstop for the first time since 2010. We are still very busy gearing up, but we're less than 3 weeks away, and it is really an exciting time for us, and we couldn't be more happy and more thankful for the support of everyone who has made this possible. Mahalo.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Just like Hawaiian Airlines, too, to keep us on time, very punctual. On-time arrival there. And it's great to hear about the job growth and other benefits as well. All right, so to make this official, we wanted to take some photos, and we realized that a lot of people in the room may want to take photos with the governor as well, but just because there's so many, we were going to go in groups. And actually, first, if we could have Governor and Mr. Humphrey come up together and to signify and make the moment. And I'll bring the podium down. Glad that didn't fall.
All right.
That's right. And staff, you're more than welcome to come up as well to take photos. What about a handshake?
Absolutely. Like an army promotion.
It's called a grip and grin.
Great.
All right, Peter and Bruce and George, if you guys can come up as well and take a photo with Brian. And then Jade, Ross, and Chauncey, too, if you can join a group photo here briefly.
Do you want to be in the middle, Governor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get maybe fill in on this side.
Yep.
Thank you very much.